ओके, तो अब मैंने रिकॉर्डिंग भी शुरू कर दी है. So this is how I record. So this I'll have to mix the audio and the video later. Camera थोड़ा सा. Okay, I think it's fine now. तो अब हम चलेंगे. Alright guys, so these are like first of my videos. Initially I was like really struggling to figure out which how to mix audio and video. Let's talk about the bike now. It's been like I've ridden it for around 1400 kilometers now, and what I realized in that time is like this bike is also one of those bikes that can seriously grow on you. So I've not ridden a lot of big bikes before. I've ridden Street Triple probably versus a couple of times, but not much. Like not, I've never owned a big bike, so this is probably, that's why. I mean, I find the power to be decently enough here. No issues with the power. At least I don't have any issues with the power. Obviously, somebody who has ridden a lethal class bike or one of those big bikes like Street Triple or something, they might find it a little lacking. But as long as you're in the city, I don't think you'll really feel the need of more power unless you are really crazy about power. And then the other thing is, like, when you're in traffic, first thing, in Bangalore, there have been some hot days also, but this bike doesn't heat up anymore. So the heating issue is actually resolved. Like, it never really, and also the heat never comes on your feet. Like, it will never come on your legs, basically. So that is also something that is a big relief now. You don't really have to worry about heat now. So if anybody was thinking that okay, heating will still be a problem, so no, that's not an issue anymore. I was actually planning to buy, get the Interceptor, but never really, like, I could never convince myself. I mean, that's also a very nice bike, obviously, but somehow, I wanted a bike. Basically, I wanted to do long rides and go 2,000 kilometers kind of rides, 2,000 kilometers kind of rides. So there, I wanted a bike where I can like sit upright comfortably, carry some luggage, and a bike which can do that properly. So I've not done a ride. The lockdown started. I was itching to go on a long ride, but during this coronavirus time, that's not happening. So I'm just waiting to things to get normalized a little bit. Then probably after that we can do one such ride. So then probably I'll tell you like what are my experiences with this bike specifically. A lot of reviews, people have said a lot of nice things about this bike, on the highways. So this is not much of an adventure bike. So I don't have that much of experience to judge it based on the adventure. All my life I've ridden on road. So from that point of view, like riding on the roads point of view, I think this is an awesome bike. You will never like feel any problems if you're not very short. Like for example, I am 5'9" approximately. I would say a little shorter than 5'9", almost 5'9". So I never face actually the height issue with this bike. Like I tiptoe, like if I put both my feet down, I tiptoe both sides, and uh, but even after that, like I never face any issue. You know, hardly even on my FZ, I used to own an FZ for like around 8-9 years. I've ridden the FZ. So even on my FZ, I never used to put both my feet down at the same time. And on this bike also, 1 foot down is not an issue. Like if you are 5'8", 5'9", that's not an issue. Even I think 5'6", if you are a good rider, I don't think you are going to have an issue. One problem that I really find, sometimes it annoys me also, that is the low end torque. It is like when you are in first gear and just rolling, just starting, feel like if you don't play with the clutch and the throttle a little bit, then the bike may actually stall on you. It didn't happen, but a lot of times it feels like it may stall on you. Once it stalled on me, but that was while, it was very new, first or second day, and the bike just stopped. It was in first gear and the bike stopped. So I was like, why? It never happened to me. It never happened to me before with any of the bikes. Yeah, like even once in second gear also it happened with me. But once, after I actually started, riding it more frequently, like 500 kilometers, and I 300 kilometers in fact. After 300, 350 kilometers, then never happened. So that is the only thing that I would really point out about this bike. Apart from that, no major issues. One issue that came in the beginning, where the rear suspension, there's also a video on my channel. So the rear suspension was making a knocking sound during the rebound. So that I, took the bike to the service center and they just replaced it. Like no questions asked. It was making this knocking sound. You press the bike down with your hand, hold it straight. Press the bike down with your hand. While pressing, there's no issue, but while rebounding, when the bike is rebounding, that time you will see a tuck kind of sound coming. So that video is there on my channel, and that was replaced. And after that, I would say no issues so far. And it's very agile. The bike is very, very agile, very nimble. You can you can do things on this which probably you'll do on a small bike. Like you can do things like this. So very soon I'll be going on a ride, and whenever that happens, I'll be putting on a video. So I got a very nice editing software. I did some hands-on with it, and I thought it might serve the purpose. If anybody wants to know the editing software that I'm using, you know, you can call me a rookie, and a rookie to, YouTube and editing and videos and all that. And I'm able to do a decent job with that software. And given the fact that I'm actually recording the audio and the video separately, so that given, I have to mix the audio and the video, and then I have to do my editing on top of that, remove the unwanted parts. So all that I found, obviously it's time consuming. It'll be the best thing that your audio and video quality, both from the same camera, are decent enough. They are usable, so that you don't at least have to do the mixing of the audio and video. You can just do the editing with your, the clip. Now I'm recording audio separately and video separately. Another thing I wanted to mention was that this bike actually, when I bought it from the Marathalli KTM showroom, and when I actually went there and I saw the bike for the first time, I was really not hoping to see this big a bike. Basically, I thought it would be like Duke, a little taller, maybe a little more, because it's the same engine ultimately. So I thought it'll be a little taller, probably. But it turned out to be a big bike. Like, when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is a big thing. Cool. Quick shifter, auto blipper. If you are looking to buy this bike because of the quick shifter it has or the auto blipper that it has, don't do that. It's not used. First thing is, it's not the kind of quick shifter that you will probably see on a Daytona or like those big bikes. Like my friend, I don't know, I think Daytona gets a quick shifter, stock quick shifter, I'm not sure. But that guy had a quick shifter, the one Daytona that I rode once. And that quick shifter was like, out of the world. Compared to that, this is like nothing. Like sometimes you feel like I'll pin the throttle and I'll keep on going, thuck, 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 thuck. That doesn't happen. You don't also need it. Why will you need a quick shifter on an adventure or a touring bike? I don't know. Instead of that, they could have probably given a stock stand, top rack or something. That would have made more sense. Auto blipper though is I think it works better than the quick shifter. And I really enjoy downshifting without pressing the clutch. that is enjoyable. Okay, I'm back. Hope you liked the small ride in great weather. I really enjoyed it. Chalo, bye bye.